If you've been on keto for more than a day, you've probably heard of chaffles. Chaffles are cheese waffles, and they are so important to Sarah and I's keto weight loss journey. We eat them all the time. And actually, our claim to fame, kind of, was our chaffle recipe that we made back in 2020. And that actually has the most views of any other video on our channel, and so many of you guys say that it's the best chaffle that you've ever had. And thank you so much. We also believe that. However, Sarah and I have come across 3 other chaffle recipes that we think could beat our own, and we're gonna try them today and figure out which one comes out on top. And the inspiration for this video is the fact that even though we've gotten thousands of comments on how our chaffle changed their life because it's so good, we get a couple comments here and there that say our chaffles are just way too crispy, which I don't know how that's possible, because don't you want a crispy chaffle? But anyway, so some of these chaffles are very different from the chaffle that we've made. We're gonna be trying a cheesy garlic bread chaffle. We're gonna be trying a cornbread chaffle. We're also gonna be trying a Wonder Bread chaffle, which we have never made before. And we're gonna be comparing all of these to our crispy, crunchy Keto Twins chaffle. So here is our first contender. It is the cheesy garlic bread chaffle by Low Carb Inspirations. We are going to be linking the original recipes to this below, but we'll go over what you're going to need for this chaffle. And this is going to make 2 chaffles. You need shredded mozzarella, egg, Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and cream cheese. This is an herbed cream cheese. I'm going to gently mix all these ingredients to combine it, and then we're going to go over to our Dash mini waffle maker. You can see, very wet in comparison to our chaffle. So the equipment that you're gonna need to make your chaffles is a Dash waffle maker. We don't know if you can use other waffle makers. I'm assuming that you can, but we've never tried it. We started off with the single Dash mini waffle maker. We have graduated to the pinnacle of chaffle success with the Dash 4 mini waffle maker, which we call a chaffle maker. We don't even make regular waffles in this thing. This really changes the game when you're making chaffles for multiple days or multiple people. You don't have to stand there and wait for them to be done. It is totally worth the investment. We can link it below. So I put my mixture into the Dash mini waffle maker. They're gonna cook for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna talk about the sponsor of this video, Element. Element is a delicious, tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. That means lots of salt and no sugar. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Sarah and I drink Element every single day, and it is literally the best tasting electrolyte supplement that we have ever tried. When you go into ketosis for the first time, you shed a lot of water, and inside that water are your electrolytes. This can leave you feeling nauseous, have fatigue, and other symptoms, also known as the keto flu. Sarah and I love all the flavors of Element, but our true favorites are the citrus salt, orange salt, raspberry salt, and the grapefruit salt. Right now, Element is offering our community a free sample pack with any purchase. It looks like this, so that you can try all the flavors. That's 8 single serving packets of Element for free with any order. This way you can try all the flavors or share some with a salty friend. In order to get this deal, you must go to drinklmnt.com/ketotwins. Thanks so much to Element for sponsoring another video on our channel. Sponsors really do help keep our channel going, and thanks to you guys for supporting our sponsors. And for the cheesy garlic bread chaffle, we are going to top this with some mozzarella cheese and some parsley and put it under the broiler for a couple seconds just to get that nice and melted. Sideburn check. I hairsprayed them down today. The second chaffle that we are going to try today is another one by Low Carb Inspirations, and this is very promising. It is a cornbread chaffle. We're going to be getting that cornbread flavor by using corn silk extract, which we bought specifically for this video. I also forgot it back at my house. I had to drive back home to get it today. This is a very different recipe than we're used to. You will need an egg, cheddar cheese, jalapeno peppers that are pickled, Frank's Red Hot sauce, corn extract, and a pinch of salt.
Down first.
Okay. This chaffle takes a little bit different of a technique when working with your chaffle maker. You're going to be putting down a small layer of cheddar cheese at the bottom of the chaffle maker just so that it creates a nice crust. And you're going to let that cook for 30 seconds before you add in your batter. Next up, we're going to talk about the second sponsor of this video, us. Subscribe to our channel so that we can hit 100,000 subscribers. So our second chaffle, our cornbread chaffle, is going to cook for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to move on to the next one. So our next Chaffle that we are going to try is called the Wonder Bread White Bread Chaffle by Butter Together. And a lot of people say that this is their favorite Chaffle. It's interesting because you're going to be needing egg, almond flour, mayo, which I have never seen in a Chaffle before. And you guys know that I love mayo. It's very exciting. Baking powder and water. So let's get this mixed up. Rachel Ray, I used to come home and watch her show after school. She taught me to always tap the yolk before you start beating so that you can get it nice and distributed. Thanks, Rachel. Oh, look at that. It's a runoff channel. Okay, next up we're going to be making our Keto Twins Chaffle. We will leave a link obviously to our website where everything is listed below. You know, I made this Chaffle one day when I saw people adding xanthan gum to recipes, and I thought, hey, why not throw a little bit in there and see what it does to the texture of this Chaffle? And it turned out that it made it extra like bread-like, which we were super excited about, and that's how the Chaffle recipe was born. Before that point, we had actually made Chaffles that were kind of really thick and dense, and they were just too much. Like, we would put them on a burger, and it was like eating these giant pieces of cheese. So our Chaffle is simple, but it's really more about the technique of putting it on the Chaffle maker, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So for our Chaffle, you're going to need shredded mozzarella cheese. We really like to use the low moisture mozzarella cheese. You're going to need xanthan gum, and you're going to need egg whites. We use the ones from the carton, but you could use fresh if that's all you have. And we're going to be using almond flour. So when you're combining all of these ingredients in a bowl, it's probably best to go in with your mozzarella first, your almond flour, and the xanthan gum so that it won't clump when you add in the egg whites. So make sure to mix those thoroughly before you add in your wet ingredient. So we're gonna mix this up, and then we're gonna go over to our Dash waffle maker. I'm gonna quickly clean the Chaffle maker because we were using jalapenos and stuff. We don't want that to like infiltrate the other Chaffles that we're making. So I'm gonna go ahead and I've unplugged the machine, and we're going to put a wet paper towel in there just to absorb those flavors. That steam is really gonna help break up all that grease. Yeah, there we go. Obviously, the waffle maker is unplugged when we're doing this. So now it's time to make our Chaffles. Quick note here, the other recipes made 2 Chaffles. Our recipe makes 3. Be aware of that. 1 for snacking. 1 for snacking, right. You can double this recipe to make 6 or whatever, but we just generally make 3 most of the time. We're gonna be putting our mixture into our Dash Mini waffle maker, and I'm gonna show you the technique that I use to get that nice thin Chaffle that we're looking for. I separated my Chaffle mixture into 3 different portions, and you're going to take that heaping amount and put it right in the middle of the waffle maker. I took the back of a spoon and I just lightly kind of spread it throughout. You kind of want it to spread throughout and make it nice and thin because the cheese is gonna melt anyway. You want those kind of holes because that's what's gonna make a really crispy and airy Chaffle. After it was done, I closed the lid, and we're gonna leave it closed until there's no more steam being released out. Then you're gonna know that it's done. Okay, the steam is gone. So we're gonna open up our Chaffle maker. Horror story or what? Here we have all of our Chaffles. They're looking really good. Which one do we want to try first? Let's go with the garlic bread Chaffle. We're going to be sharing half of a Chaffle each because Chaffles are very filling. If you eat 4 Chaffles, you're going to be full for days. So first impressions of the garlic bread Chaffle is that it's very soft. Yes. I like the addition of the parsley and the mozzarella cheese on top. It feels soft to the touch. Yes, it's very flexible. Inside, it looks kind of wet. I think that's because it's using a whole egg, I believe, right? Yeah. So let's give it a try. It tastes like garlic bread to me. Mm-hmm. Very flavorful. Mm-hmm. I think that if you put a little bit marinara on here, it would taste like pizza. I would put a lot more cheese that we did. Yeah, a little bit more cheese on top, more garlic. Mm-hmm. I'm impressed by it. I like it a lot. I guess I like this on its own. Mm-hmm. Instead of having to make a sandwich out of it or something. Next up, we have our cornbread Chaffle with the corn extract. Here you can see like the pieces of jalapeno. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, we put down that cheese, that layer of cheese, and it really made it hard. So that's definitely a good tip. If you're looking to make your Chaffles a little bit more crispy, adding a layer of cheese might help with that. Mmm. Nice crunch. I'm excited for this one because I've never tried corn extract before. We want to see what we can use that in, so. We will link the one that we purchased in the description below. Smells like cheddar cheese. I get that jalapeno too. I'm imagining serving this with a chili. Are you tasting the corn though? Not really. Maybe. It's subtle if it's there. I'm getting a lot more jalapeno. Right. Jalapeno is a very strong flavor, so this is super delicious. It's kind of wet on the inside. Yeah.
All of these Truffles are definitely more moist, if you will, than our Chaffle.
I like it a lot.
I would make this one again for sure.
So next up we have our Wonder Bread white Chaffle. Doesn't have cheese in it.
So is it a Chaffle?
It's very, very springy and spongy. I'm definitely not used to eating Chaffles like this. It's probably more of a waffle-like consistency. It reminds me of Eggos. I used to eat those frozen, by the way. Did you?
No.
Like Lego my Eggos? You would never eat them out of the...
No.
I would eat them literally out of the package, frozen.
No. I always had to put a little dollop of butter on there, some maple syrup.
Cuts very easily. Very airy. It almost looks like a donut on the inside. It's got like a very airy texture.
Could you add sugar to this and make it a donut?
Probably. It doesn't really taste like anything. It's just very neutral. It doesn't really taste like anything.
It's neutral enough that you could probably put some sandwich meat or something in between and make a sandwich out of it.
Maybe trying the cornbread flavoring in this one, you would actually get to taste the cornbread.
The mayo doesn't make it taste mayo-y.
No.
Different use, but I'm liking that one as well.
And let's go back to Old Faithful here. Our Keto Twins Chaffle.
Well, here,
listen to this crunch.
Hold on. So it is much lighter, and there definitely is a presentation side to our Chaffle. I guess some people say that they flip it over and they're able to toast it on the other side. I don't really care to do that. Because the waffle maker isn't filled with the batter as much as like these other ones, it's just the plates don't come into contact with that other side, and that's why there's a presentation side. But we pretty much put the presentation side up, and you never see it.
Let's go give it a go. Unrivaled crunchiness, that's for sure. I don't think that any of these had the same crunch. It's just versatile in that you could add different types of cheeses if you wanted to, and it will come out crunchy like this because we're not using too much liquid. And that's the difference mainly between our Chaffles and the other Chaffles out there that you see, is that we do not put an entire egg in there. We only put the egg white, which is basically just cheese and almond flour and whatever else, and xanthan gum. It's almost dry when it goes into the waffle maker, and some people are off put by that because you're typically pouring it in and it's dripping, like with this one. And so it's just a different technique, and it's a different amount of moisture, which causes a super crispy Chaffle.
And that's the texture that I like when I'm making Chaffles. But these are other great ones, great examples of other ones. I know there are like thousands of Chaffle recipes out there. If you guys have a favorite Chaffle recipe that you want us to try, let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to try them out.
Or you can share them in our Facebook group. We do have a Facebook group with about 8,000 of you in there, sharing all your recipes and successes with keto. And please don't forget to subscribe. We are really, really hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers soon, because YouTube sends out this little silver play button, and we're each going to get one. You have to order an extra one to get two. But once we hit that milestone, because it's really important to us, we've been working really hard. And yeah, please subscribe. And if you guys want to see the video where we made the most delicious sandwich known to man, also known as the chicken Florentine Chaffle, you can click right here and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins, signing out.